person, in the one person that gave his everything for us when he died on that cross.
Right. Amen, amen.
We need to get into that place where we're thankful and we're genuine about how we worship God.
That's right.
And also about the third person that I was going to speak to you guys is Paul. Paul followed Christ. He was an example. He preached the gospel.
Yes, he did.
He didn't care about anything that was happening. All he knew is that he wanted to serve the person that had given him life.
That's right.
Amen, amen.
So he gave everything. He let go of so many things, so many riches. He let go of everything that he had to follow God. Because he knew that once he was fully committed to what God had planned, once he was fully committed and ready to part ways from the world and cross over into the side where God can use me at its full potential, he knew that God was going to do something in his life so powerful. He knew that God was going to do something in his life so great that was going to make a difference and that was going to change everything that was going around him in his situation. So we need to decide. There's going to be a point in your life where you need to decide, am I going to be continuing to walk and live the way I want to live?
Oh.
Or am I going to let God take control of my life?
Amen, amen.
I had to go through that the hard way. There was about 4 years back, when I was a senior in high school, I decided that I was going to follow the things of the world. When I was born and raised in church. Just because you're born and raised in church doesn't make you perfect.
That's right.
Everyone goes through problems. Everyone goes through situations.
That's right. Yes.
And even those that are born and raised in church, it's even harder.
That's right.
It's
right.
even harder because now you got all these pressures that usually the ones who are coming in from the world don't have. So when I decided that what the world had to offer was better than the ministry that God had planned for me, I walked away. And that was during my senior year, and everything was fine. I was doing good. I had never had an issue. I had never had a problem. My pastor from the fourth church had separated me and I was one of the younger youth that were set aside for the ministry. So God was already beginning to work in my life. God was ready to once again to give that blessing that he had for me. But right when he was ready to give that blessing, I decided to walk away. So I walked away and I went into this world. I followed a girl that was in the world, so I ended up having a worldly girlfriend, and I let go of all my church friends. I let go of all my church friends because I was thinking, you know what? I have to choose either, I have to choose my friends that are over there or my friends that are over here because it's not going to work both. So I'm like, all right, it's fine. It's fine. I'll still go to church on Sundays. I'll still go to the church. But, I'll continue to do these things that the world has to offer me. So that's how it started. I started going to church on every day. Then I found something that was going to fill in the time for my Wednesday service.
Oh, come on.
Then I found something that was going to fill in my time for the Friday service. And then I was only at just Sundays. And then eventually time passed by, and then I left church altogether. And then to me, I really wasn't focused. I really didn't care because where my heart was somewhere else. I had given the place where God belongs, I had given it to someone else.
Oh,
I was following this girl in the world, and I was absolutely in love with her. I absolutely I seriously, I can say that I was in love with her. I would do anything. I would do anything for her. And the reason that I felt so hard for her is because the place where God once lived, the place that God took, she took that place. So it was very easy for me to be blinded by the things that the world has to offer.
You're talking real good.
But once I was in this place, once I was in this world, things just started falling apart. I never once, when I was, at these parties, or whenever I was doing these things, or whenever I was out, even on the dance floor, never once did I feel comfortable. But I wanted to fit in somewhere where I didn't belong, so it was never gonna work.
My.
Because once you are chosen by
Chosen.
God, you are never gonna fit in with someone that you don't belong. And that's what I didn't get. I'm like, look, I'm dressing like them. I'm starting to act like them, but I just don't feel like I'm part of them.
Oh, come on.
And I still felt like an outsider. I felt like an outsider, and I didn't know what to do. I started doing bad at my job. I started calling in a lot. I had left school for the second semester of college. I left second semester of college because I wanted to dedicate my full time over to my girlfriend that was out in the world. So all these things started happening. My situation at my house, my mother who raised 4 boys on her own. I was one of the ones that was mainly helping her. I stopped helping her because everything that I had, I wanted it to use to spend over here. So I started realizing that what's going on in my life, everything is falling apart. Everything is not going how I had imagined it. And when I would wake up and I would see friends around me that were passed out on the floor, when I would see friends around me that were in the bathroom throwing up,
Come on.
I was like, I kind of gave me a wake up call, and I was like, this is what the world is calling fun.
Oh,
This
come
is
on.
what the world has to offer. This is what everyone is really after. Everyone sees all the good things, but what happens behind the scenes?
Oh, that's right. Come on.
What's going to change your life? Because I would see my friends that would get into car accidents because they were driving drunk.
That's what you need to
Oh,
tell
come
them
on.
right there. Come on.
Come
I
on.
would see my friends go to jail again because
Oh.
they were driving while under the influence.
Talk to us.
And I started seeing all my friends' life beginning to crumble. And I started noticing that a lot of similarities to their lives was beginning to be like mine.
Oh.
So I would begin to go to my house, and now I didn't fit in anywhere. I was like, I won't fit in church because I haven't been there. I don't want to go back because how am I gonna face everyone at church and tell them that okay, I'm ready to come back.
Yes.
And I didn't want to be in that world anymore. That in that world where everyone's life was just passing by them without a purpose.
That's right.
Everyone was just doing their thing and they didn't even know where they were going. No one was in school. No one was doing anything that was going to take their life anywhere.
Yes.
And I was like, I know better than this.
Come on.
So I began to just lock myself in my room. And I would be depressed. And I never knew what the word depression, I would hear it. I would hear that word depression. But I never knew what it was. And then I started feeling that I would lock myself in my room for probably like a whole day and a half. And I would be in there and I would just be in pain, and not physical pain, but just something inside me would just hurt.
Yes.
It would just hurt, and I didn't know where to fit in. The only thing that brought me joy was when my girlfriend would be out of work, and then I would give my time to her. But when she wasn't there, then I would go again and lock myself in the room. And then I started just feeling horrible. I'm like, I looked at everything that was going on, and everything just fell apart. Everything was gone. Everything that I had worked so hard for wasn't there anymore. Now I was almost a year behind in college. Now I was at the point of being fired at my job. Now I was at the point of not knowing what to do anymore, and not knowing how to go about anything anymore. I once, when I graduated from high school with all these credits and I would always get voted the most likely to succeed, I started looking at these yearbooks and I was like, what happened to that person? And I started realizing that all that things that were going good in my life, when I was set aside in the ministry, when I had all these friends who were actually my friends, they weren't just like drinking buddies. Or they weren't those friends that when something goes wrong, they leave.
Oh, come on.
I had actual friends and family, and they weren't there anymore because I left. So I would lock myself in the room and not knowing what to do. and my grandma